Hey, this is Joe Price. I just wanted to provide some instructions on a new volunteer project that we've set up. We're working on the 1900 Norway census. It has about 80% coverage right now, and so we've been looking for those hints that might help us add some of the people that are missing. And we've set these up as partially attached hints. That means someone in the family is already attached. Trick sending hints where someone in the family has a hint and others are missing, and then some implied hints. And that's basically one where none of the people in the family have a direct hint, but if you go look at the record, you'll see that sometimes the record has similar records and one of those is attached to a person. So maybe just focus on these first two, but I'll just show you how these work. So just come into the sheet and pick a name and then click on the URL and it'll just take you right into Source Linker. So you can see this one's a pretty easy one. Everything's lining up. My guess is the reason this got flagged as tree extending or adding a new person is because this birth year is off by so much. I still think it's the same person. So I would attach the source, and as we attach more sources to that father, we'll probably come to the conclusion of what his correct birth date is. So in this case, I'm going to attach both of those sources, both for the father and the son. And then basically that's all there is to do. Though if you want to go do more research about the father, you certainly can. So I'm just going to put in a 1. You can open up multiple tabs by hitting Alt Enter at the same time. And the first time you do that, you'll have to turn off the pop-up blocker. So here it looks like the people are coming from down here. I probably need to flag those better, but you can just skip those for now. This is a great example right here. Look, so someone came in and attached the parents, attached Gerard, but kind of didn't touch any of the other children. So what we would do is we would add each of those children to the tree and attach the source. This is really what we're aiming for is these records that were partially done, but still have a lot of extra people that we could add to the tree. Okay, great. So that family's all done. And then right here, kind of similar example. Um, you can see Hanson, Joanna, Strike. So everything here looks like it's lining up really well from the record. Not sure what's going on here with Joanna, but definitely seems to be this person. So let's attach that record. By having that record attached, it'll probably help someone be able to get the correct gender and other information. And we actually have some automated tools that does do some of that kind of checking and cleaning. Okay, but so in this case, I probably would spend a little bit of time working on Joanna, trying to figure out correct name and other information. Okay, so those are partially attached hints. Let me show you trig sending hints. They're very similar, except you won't have anyone in the family that's attached already. It'll just be a hint, and then you'll have to kind of evaluate it. So you can see here, and you should always feel comfortable skipping these. So, open up details. We have, the cities matching birth years. We got Solomon Islands over here. I'm not sure what this is. Check really quick. Maybe see what that is. Um, yeah, I'm not sure what someone was trying to put in when they, or what that meant in the record. You could probably go look at the image. You can see here we got Isabella. This is the only thing that's kind of got me a little puzzled. So the parents seem to match really well. Um, but the kid, this Ingeborg Isabella is not lining up super well. Um, this one I'm probably just going to skip. I mean, I think it's probably fine, but there's just enough kind of things that maybe we can leave this for someone else to help with. And you should remember that, skipping is always fine. We'll be kind of coming back to and checking on these. So again, here you can see lots of people's names are lining up, and there was a kid that got missed. This is kind of like ideal situation. Now we've got Ivor Johnson. So actually, it looks like what's happening here is actually Ingeborg remarried. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach these. Um, and so I won't be able to use Goldie Mae for this one. So I'll come back and finish this one. Okay, here's another one. You can see everyone lining up really well. And again, we have one of these cases where the birth year is off by a bunch. My guess is this might be an indexing error, but I would still attach it and we can kind of use that information later on. Let me just, for the sake of time, let me just show you the last category over here. These are called implied hints. Let me show you how these ones work. So you'll go to this link. It'll take you to the record. So we don't have a hint for anyone in the family, a direct hint. But notice that, so this is the record. Over here, these are other records that Family Search thinks might belong to the same person. So notice here we have this Marta here. So what I did is I copied her ID. I'm going to come in here and right here, I'm going to drop that in and let's see. And so we find sometimes these implied hints turn out to be pretty good. So you can see here, we've got the same places. Again, it looks like the birth year is just off enough that Family Search didn't feel comfortable making the call. So yeah, this one actually looks pretty good to me. They aren't always good. So these implied hints are kind of lower quality, so you should always be really careful about them. Okay. And then again, result one just means, hey, I tried. So even if you skip, you can put a one and you can always put in notes. You can see here, I put in a note that like the family got split across record IDs. So let me show you this kind of an interesting case where um, everyone in the record are siblings. There's no head of household. So if I go to this record, you can see over here. So that's good to put in a note because this is probably a record that just got split maybe across pages and didn't get recombined as a family. Okay, so thanks for helping with this project. We're really excited to try to make sure that everyone living in Norway in 1900 is on the family tree. We call this kind of a layer, like a deep layer, so that when people are doing their family history in Norway, they'll be able to crash into that layer. And our hope is to try to help start to connect all these families together.